Howdy, welcome back to my channel. My name is Libby and today I'm going to be talking about how I hosted my Nana pop-up while drawing them. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that beautiful big red button below and let's jump into this video. Originally, the sketchbook was only meant for my art dedicated to my OC Pofu, but today I decided to make an exception. I purchased this Talent Art Creation hardbook sketchbook in a shop in Portland and I've been seeing them everywhere. They are nice to work with and my markers don't bleed through the pages, which is why I'm using the sketchbook today. So the most recent pop-up I hosted was the Nana Cup Sleeve in Sugar Land, Texas. Today I thought I would give you all a recap of the event while I make a Nana inspired drawing with my acrylic markers, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. I decided to host a Nana pop-up because it's a story that is very well written, especially with the complexity of the characters, and it's a niche that isn't shown a lot of love compared to other trending animes. I recognize Nana is an older series, but I've come to learn the fan base has only grown larger with time. I hosted my first Nana pop-up back in December in Katy, Texas. It was such a hit, I knew I had to bring it back for the summer, and I kept telling people, hey, you might have missed it in December, but I'm bringing it back this year. So what I did is I organized with a local cafe in Sugar Land, Texas called Rain Coffee, and we talked about the date we wanted to have it. Once I got my approval by the owners, I posted a vendor application where I received 42 applications. This was a tough jury process as I tried my best to choose vendors that best align with the theme of the event and had a wide range of products to offer outside of Nana as well. After I had set my vendors their acceptance, I created the flyer to announce the date, location, time, activities, and the vendor list, of course, to the public so they can see and share with their friends, basically getting the word out through social media. I posted these flyers on Instagram because that's where I'm most active at grimstudio.art. After sharing the public announcements, I moved on to making my RSVP form. Now, your RSVP form is a useful tool to gauge the quantity of guests you can expect to bring in. With my RSVP form, I included questions like, do you plan on bringing a friend? What day will be coming, Saturday or Sunday, because it was a 2-day event? Will you be entering the cosplay contest? And if you have any comments or suggestions for the events. I also had another question dedicated to the tier selection. I created 4 tiers that guests could choose from, ranging from free $99 all the way up to $50. The free tier included your cup sleeve, a freebie sticker, a bingo sheet, and a coloring sheet, and tier 4 included all of that, but it also included a sticker sheet, a Nana print, a phone charm of either Nana or Hachi, and a graphic t-shirt. On the RSVP form, I included a picture of the cup sleeve because I think it helps provide the guest a visual of what they're signing up for and receiving, and I also made a separate post revealing the cup sleeve to the public on Instagram. For the cup sleeve, I was inspired by the Blackstone's cake Hachi made for Blast, but in this design, it's like the whole gang making the cake together, and the cake is the cup sleeve. You can tell by like the frosting and the piping, and it's so cute. I fell in love with it. But this wasn't the first design for the event I actually made. I had created a different cup sleeve that was more Gyaru theme. I think I'm saying that right, Gyaru. But I couldn't decide on the color palette, so I scrapped it and went in this whole different direction of the cake theme. Another question I included on the RSVP form is asking them how did they hear about the event. And I provided them options that they could select from, whether it was from word of mouth, through Instagram, TikTok, a physical flyer. And this allowed me to gauge which form is working the best to focus more of my energy on. Because if I'm receiving a high number of RSVPs because I'm constantly posting marketing reels on Instagram, then I gotta focus my energy there. And if no one's really selecting physical flyers, then why am I wasting my time driving out and posting flyers? Does that make sense? It makes sense. So anyways, marketing was a huge tool that helped me move this event from a good event to an amazing event. So it is a building block to having a good foundation for your event outside of gathering vendors, prepping decorations, and making art for your event. Because if the public doesn't know about your event, how can you expect to sell any art? One thing I focused for this event is being consistent with posting both reels and trial reels. The difference between the two is trial reels pushes your content to non-followers. It is my fair assumption that people who follow me already, they're going to know about my event because I'm posting and they're seeing, right? But those who don't follow me, they're not going to know. So the trial reels I feel did wonders to pushing my event to people who don't know me or of my events. So I would post 2 to 3 videos a week on both reels and trials. Then I would close the app, not intentionally, but just because I was going to TikTok, and I would share the same videos on that platform as well.
Oh my gosh.
I received the best engagement from my reels, and I think in the future I'm going to continue that marketing format.
People who have hair.
Then we also have our activities. I had planned for the event to consist of activities such as bingo, where the first blackout bingo received a Nana tote bag on both days. We also created a photo booth with the Nana cutouts and a Nana themed photo strips, and my friend Lamont graciously volunteered to help out for both days. A true friend right there, sacrificing their weekend for my event. A voting contest also took place where guests could throw a tomato on either Shoji or Takumi. The question was coined as who is the worst character in Nana, and guests were able to grab a tomato sticker and stick it to their choosing. We obviously had more on Takumi, but it was also funny to see the ones on Shoji's face. We had coloring happening all throughout the day where I provided the guests with Copic markers and coloring pencils to use. And finally, my favorite part of the event was the cosplay contest. All the cosplayers brought a lively energy and they knew how to make the judges laugh and gasp. And yes, I was one of the judges. Everyone honestly deserved to win, but alas, we had to have one single winner. The winner of both days received a 25th anniversary volume 1 book, and for second and third, I allowed them to grab some merch from my booth as long as it wasn't a shirt. I had been prepping for this event a month in advance. I usually have my husband around to help me with prepping, but he had to leave. Okay, let me backtrack. As for prepping, I had confirmed the date 2 months in advance, and I started working on art 2 months in advance. But when it came to actually prepping for decorations and making the reels or creating any forms or applications needed, that was all done a month in advance. And usually I have my husband around to help me with prepping, but he had to leave for work, so I had to pull up my big girl pants by the straps and get to work. Looking back at the prep, it felt like one long day. And when I talk about prep now, I'm no longer talking about gathering my vendors or posting reels. I'm talking about like the actual physical labor that comes with your event. So I took 1 week to do it, and I believe each night I got somewhere around 5 hours of sleep because I had no time to waste. I would wake up pretty early and then I'd go to sleep late because I was just working that much. But I loved it. I love it, right? So Monday, I can't remember what all I did, but I did some things. I swear I worked. On Tuesday, I made all the RSVP stickers, and there was quite a bunch. We had over 100 RSVPs. So I was there with my Cricut machine, laminating, cutting. And then I also made sure we had enough sticker sheets, and I stocked up on all my inventory. Wednesday, I went to go pick up my shirts and tote bags from the warehouses, and later that evening, my friends and I had a cup sleeve party. With my cup sleeves party, I invite as many friends over as I can into my little apartment. I cram them up and I feed them dinner. And then after we're done eating dinner, we laminate and cut the cup sleeves by hand. And at one point, we had a boba shop intervention, but then we went back to work. I believe it was 5 when my friends came over, but it was 10 o'clock when they left. So imagine that. 5 hours of work, and it's over, I think, 5 to 6 friends working on that. We did all of that for your guys' cup sleeves. And you know what? I loved every bit of it. That night, I also printed all the Nana prints, bingo sheets, and coloring sheets. I think I'm lying. I think I only did the Nana prints. So each night before I would go to bed, I would print one of those 3. So I didn't have to stay up. I would just click print, and while I'm sleeping, it's just doing all the printing. So when I wake up in the morning, it's done. So those 3 were spread out throughout the week, the Nana prints, bingo sheets, and coloring sheets. So on Thursday morning, when I woke up, I started working on my shirts and tote bags, which consisted of weeding. Girl. And for those who don't know what weeding is, it's when you have a vinyl iron-on design and you use a Cricut machine to make the cuts for you. But then you have to do the rest of the work, which is what the weeding is. And you have like this sharp tool, kind of think of like what the dentists use to get your plaque out. It's kind of like that, right? And what you do is, for a lack of better words, is you kind of scrape and pull off the parts that is not part of your design. So when you iron on your design, it's the actual design and not just the whole vinyl piece. Depending on the complexity of your design, this can be done in a few minutes, or in my case, it took somewhere between 25 to 30 minutes for each design. So I'm telling you, if y'all got one of these Nana shirts during the event, that is a labor of love. And will I be doing that again? Yes, because I really love those shirts. I sold out of all of them, and I didn't even have one for myself. So I will be bringing the tote bags and shirts back for future events. So that Thursday night, I finished all the tote bags and only half the shirts. So on Friday morning, I woke up pretty early to finish up the remaining shirts, and I started working on my cutouts. I had some mini chibi cutouts to work on and my 2 big Nana and Hachi ones, and I also had the cutout for the Takumi and Shoji voting poster. Once I got done with all of that, I headed over to Ring around 6 or 6:30 to start decorating for the event. I spent about 2 hours there because we were also trying to move tables, but I wasn't trying to kick people off their tables, so we waited till they left before I started rearranging furniture, and I think I left around 8:30. Had to go feed my friend's cat. That's unnecessary information, but yeah, I did that. So by the time I got home, it was 10 o'clock, and I was exhausted. I don't think I had anything else to do by then because everything was already done. All I had to do was just make sure I loaded my vehicle with all the stuff for the event. That night, I had made a list of everything I needed to pack up in my car, and that morning, I swear, I checked that list 5 freaking times because I kept having this feeling I'm missing something, I'm forgetting something. And guess what? Because I live 30 minutes away from this coffee shop, and when I arrived at this coffee shop, I'm like halfway through, finished setting up, when I realized I left something very important, and that was my iPad. For the photo booth, we require my iPad to take pictures of the guest, and that is the one vital thing I forgot. Thankfully, Lamont pulled through and drove all the way to my residence and brought it back to me by 12 o'clock. So day one was kind of crazy to start off. Like I mentioned previously, I had forgotten my iPad, so our photo booth wasn't working until 12 p.m. And if you guys want a video on how to create your own photo booth, let me know in the comments if I should make a tutorial. Most of the vendors were here by 10:30 except for one. My dessert vendor, and no shade at all love. But at the time, I was very concerned because I had not heard from them a single bit this morning. I ended up finding out later from them what happened, and her reason was totally valid for not being able to make it. A lot of people did ask about them, and it was unfortunate to break to the news to them that they weren't here because, girl, I feel you. I also won a strawberry shaped cookie during my events. That morning I had an Instagram that popped off unexpectedly as well. I thought, hey, why not make a quick video of me showing off everyone's goods, all the Nana decorations, and maybe even the drinks, maybe even a drink with a cup sleeve, for the vibes. And within the hour, it was already at 600 likes. And I had people come up to me during the event, tell me how they came because of the video. Now, I will say I had been consistently posting a whole month up until this event. So was it the trial reels? Was it the regular reels? Or was it this reel from this morning that was the reason why people came? I don't know. But what I do know is I got a lot of comments telling me about how people were going to pull up the next day because they had just saw it. And I did receive feedback that Sunday morning that people came because they saw my reel the previous day. Today too, the second day, I had a line out the door with the event starting. Sunday was just as good, if not better than Saturday in terms of turnout. I even had a guest who traveled all the way from Louisiana for the event on Sunday, and that made me feel so special. Thank you to that one girl. You made my day that morning. On Sunday, I also brought in my TV and connected it to Hulu so I could play Nana throughout the whole day, except for the time during the World Cup because that happened at 3 p.m. Who would have known that the World Cup decided to schedule their finals during my Nana event? Crazy. We had our cosplay contest again at 2:30, and I'm telling you, these cosplayers came out and showed out. In the words of my good friend Lamont, Nana fans, they know how to dress. And I'm proud to co-sign that statement. So, recap of all the love. After the event was over, I received so much good feedback from both the vendors and guests, and making it a good experience for both of them is always my number one priority. This was such a great experience, and I look forward to bringing this event back in December. During the time of marketing of this event, I received a lot of comments requesting to host this in other Texas cities like Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin. And if this is one of your cities, please let me know which coffee or boba shop to host it at because I would love to. I just don't know where the places are at. So my next theme pop-up will be on October, and it is Chikawa theme. And if that is an event you are interested in, make sure you're following me on Instagram at grimstudio.art for the latest updates of the event. I hope this video inspired you to host your own event, whatever theme it may be. And if you'd like to support my art and endeavors, you can check out my mail club linked below. Each month, patrons receive a recipe of the month, a matching sticker sheet, and vinyl sticker. That's the end of my video. Thank you guys for listening to me yap about my events. Make sure you guys take care of yourself. Love you all, and I'll see you guys next time.